Things die. It's just what they do. Every minute of every day, on every world, every galaxy, something dies. Crying over it is spitting into the wind. Death is natural. Yes, but there comes a time in the history of all civilizations, worlds great and small, when something, some event, some disease, some war, tips the balance of things, when even nature must look at the numbers and nervously catch its breath. And on those occasions, well, it's time to make plans. Hello once again and welcome to the oncoming Brainstorm. I'm Sam.
I'm Lewis.
Now here we are with the final part of Only the Good box set, Heavenly Paradigm.
Yeah, so this is the finale to the box set and it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It's one that I struggle with, honestly. Yeah, it's probably my least favourite of the box set. Okay, well my big problem with this one, as much as I do enjoy moments of it, I just find it quite confusing.
But there's great stuff in it, like the opening monologue that Jacoby gives that really explains a lot of his motivations, and we finally understand why he's been doing like all these nice things across the previous stories. And it turns out that ultimately he does want to stop the Time War, but in his own special way. So you have this house, right, that's built to protect one particular device that the Master is interested in, which is the Heavenly Paradigm. And this device is essentially like an algorithm that can figure out how a society or a person could make all the right decisions in their life to lead them to their maximum potential. And it can be sort of activated on people or civilizations. And the Master, in his almost insanity, wants to cast it on everything in the universe but himself.
Yeah, and you had that time lady that's kind of protecting the Heavenly Paradigm. There's some interesting conversations between and kind of banter between the War Master and this time lady.
Yes.
But yeah, the Heavenly Paradigm is quite a high concept, and
it's a really interesting idea.
It's a cool idea. I don't know if I can really get my head around it, honestly.
Yeah, it's especially confusing. Like when it actually goes off, like I kind of lose track of the story, and that's kind of my issue with it. But the stuff leading up to that, like the culmination of Cole's arc, where the Master has sort of allowed him to do like everything he did in Skyman, with the goal of creating as much mess and as much paradoxes as possible.
From the isolation suits, the proto-Cybermen.
Yes, the whole
retribution.
Retribution, all that. And of course Cole, even in the first place, he was meant to die. You know, he should have died. He shouldn't have gotten off that planet on Arkin. And now that he's sort of bottled up all this energy, he just gets plugged into the machine and just burnt. And it's one of those things that's like really shocking when you first listen to it, and really kind of disturbing because I quite like Cole.
Yeah, and the scream is horrible, but it makes total sense. Like
it really does.
The War Master just turn around and go, "Yeah, you're dead. Don't want any more.
Yeah.
You want my friend."
Yeah, because like, why would he be so nice? You know, and it wouldn't feel right if he just like treated Cole like the Doctor treats his companions.
Yeah, I think the War Master definitely sees his companions or the people that he travels with as inferior.
Yeah, Master just sees them as people he can use.
Just pawns of the game.
Yeah. One other thing I really like about the story is the traps in this house. And like there's a bit where Cole like opens the door under the stairs, and seemingly you think it's going to be a normal cupboard, but it actually like leads off into infiniteness. And then the traps as well, like when he's falling into the fire, and that's great. I just wish there was more of it.
Yeah, I almost think it's almost like two different stories sort of meshed into one, because you've got all the stuff with the Heavenly Paradigm, which concludes all, like a lot of the threads going on throughout the box set. Mm-hmm. Stuff with Cole and the Retribution and isolation suits, and also the War Master. Why is he being so kind? What game is he playing?
Yeah.
And the Time War.
Yeah.
It all comes together, and that's one story on its own. Then the other story is, kind of crazy weird house with trippy visuals and psychological stuff.
Audio,
yeah, trippy audio, and playing with the psychological element of what is reality. It feels like it jumps from one to the other towards the end. And yeah, when we get towards the end of the story, after we get Cole's tragic death and the Heavenly Paradigm is activated, the ending was a bit of a mindfuck.
Because you got the paradigm goes off, and it seems to be working. All these civilizations are prospering, and then they kind of fluctuate with each other, because in order for some societies to prosper, others must suffer, right? Like some societies are warlike, they're meant to conquer. So if they're going to be the best at conquering, how can another society be the best at whatever it is they do? Like,
so this is meant to be the Master's kind of resolution to the Time War in some ways, or
yes.
his fight back at the Time War.
And it does make a lot of sense to me that the War Master would be trying to find another way, another solution to this war. I think in the show sometimes they just paint him as just wants to blow up everything and all destruction and everything. But actually I think he's much deeper than that, in that he wants to control everything, really.
Which is different to just like being pure evil.
Exactly. So it makes a lot of sense why he would activate this. The scene where the paradigm activates and the AI is describing all these planets, like winking out in and out of existence, and the Daleks capturing something called the cruciform, whatever the heck that is, and the Master kind of losing his tits and being like, oh my god, this is horrible, I've ruined everything, and I'm so scared, I need to get the hell out of here. Like, all of that happens in just a bit of an unsatisfactory way for me.
Yeah, a little bit. I like the emotions behind what Jacoby's given in his performance. It just feels like there's a lot of info dumped at once, because that info isn't really tying into what's going on, like, space-wise, in terms of like what the characters are doing. It just feels a bit abstract and a bit too high-concept sci-fi for me.
How do you feel with this story, like, tying up the threads neatly and leading directly into Utopia?
I don't like that at all.
Really? Yeah.
Like, this will sound strange, but when I first listened to it, when you hear the sound of a baby that Jacoby's like holding in his arms, I think.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was Cole, or like he'd killed Cole and then reborn him into a baby. Like, I got confused. I didn't actually know what was going on.
Same. I had no idea what the hell was going on.
And then you told me later on that this leads into Utopia, and that this is like, so he turns himself into that child, the Professor Yana, who's found on the beach in Utopia, who hides out at the end of the universe. How does he talk to himself as a baby? Like, I just...
Is it like a voice in his head? Or like, and how would the baby like hold on to the watch, like the fob watch that he's found with? And why would he turn himself into a baby? Why not like a teenager? So at least he could like defend himself and like it seems kind of like suicide in a way. Yeah,
they do describe it as they found a child. They found me as a child on the beach. So when I think child, I think more like 4 or 5, not a literal like baby. I think the reason why they tried to tie it into Utopia is the fact that Big Finish and Nicholas Briggs were unsure if they were going to get Jacoby back.
Yes.
So I can understand they really want to wrap it all up in a nice bow. It just feels a bit forced for me.
Yeah, and I wish it could have been done a little bit clearer, because I had to look it up, like much like Lewis, look it up and try and figure out what the heck happened. So anyway, bringing it to conclusion, I do really like Heavenly Paradigm. I think it has some fascinating ideas, it leads the characters in a very interesting direction, but the conclusion is very technobabble heavy, very confusing, and a bit messy. It feels like there could have been another story that was all about, the paradigm messing everything up.
Like a 5th part to the box set.
Yeah, and it does. I do think there's going to be another story that leads on from this in the Time War.
Hopefully expands it more.
Yeah.
It'll make more sense, hopefully.
Still, it's a satisfactory end.
I think it's good. It's still entertaining. I'll give it that. It's not boring, so...
That's that. So, here we are at the end of the box set. To reiterate basically what we said at the beginning, it's great. It's one of the best box sets on Big Finish.
I bloody loved it.
Yes. It is brilliant. I'm so glad they did it, and I can't wait for the next few box sets. In fact, we'll be talking about Master of CALLOUS very shortly.
Brilliant. Well, thank you guys for listening. Let us know what you guys think of the War Master and any of the upcoming box sets for Big Finish. And take care and goodbye.